and welcome to Joanne's Healing Within. I am Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, wife, mother, and I'm here to help you live your best life. I'd like to take a moment to thank my sponsors for today's show as we start with Good Chi Feng Shui LLC, a great time of year to feng shui your office space and your home. And as I always say, when we feng shui our office space and home, we also feng shui our physical bodies as well. So take this time to do that. Change the energy of your space, whether you just move one little thing in one space, or you decide to feng shui your whole office or whole home. That's what you'd want to do. Then we also have Sherry Simpson, our transformational life coach. She's going to actually help you transform from within. Tap into those things that are the question mark, we're going to say for today, the question mark. What's on your mind? What is causing you to question where you are, where you want to go, and where you were, for that matter? So that's Sherry Simpson. And then we have our real estate broker, Nick Rafter. He's going to help you find that perfect home once you've settled into transforming and decluttering and just that whole feng shui perspective. So there's our three sponsors for this week's show. I like to set the energy for our show, and I also want to remind you to share, like, and comment regarding today's show, as we're going to have some awesome information coming out on today's show. So in regards to our chakra energy and setting the energy for the day, I want you to just think about a question that you may need clarity for. And also perhaps what chakra might you need to focus in on for today? And what number is going to send you some insight that might be even following you for the day? So here we go. I'm going to shuffle it one more time and pulling the card for today. And I always like to shuffle the cards in front of you so you can actually see organically what shows up for you. I also love when cards show up upside down, as this one is. Upside down, and upside down cards just means the message is so important for anyone who's watching, whether you're watching right now with me during the live or when I do a watch party at some point. Somebody needs to hear this message. So let's turn the card upside down, and it's success. And I love the fact that this card is showing up. I feel like this card has shown up once before or twice before on my show. And success, what does success mean for you? And is success showing up in your life personally, professionally? What does it actually mean? And I want you to reflect on that. What does success mean for you? Because I know success means different things for different people. And for some people, success is not such a positive word. So if success doesn't resonate with you and you get the queasies when you hear the word success, maybe you can find a different word that would resonate, that would mean the same process of what success means for you. And now let's focus in on the chakras. The chakra here, we have the yellow. The yellow is all about the solar plex, the gut intuition, the trusting the process, the, like, literally leading by faith, allowing yourself to know that you are exactly where you need to be, and that whatever experience you are going through at this very moment, there's a learning experience there, and it's going to help you get to the next level of where you need to go, more or less the next platform of where you want to be. So trust in that process. However, when we think about our solar plex, sometimes blockages occur, such as you might feel insecure, you might be worried, doubtful, and not digesting life. Now, when we think about the word not digesting life, it's almost like not digesting food. So if you're not digesting your food, your body doesn't do well. You don't get the energy you need because you're not digesting the food. Same concept goes if you're not digesting life. If you are not digesting what's actually going on in your world, whether it's professionally or personally, or even both for that matter, you really need to sit quietly and allow those thoughts just to sort of dribble up, settle down, and then allow yourself to step into those thoughts so you can digest them and actually feed off of them, or better yet, fuel off of them, so you can get a better understanding to what's going on in your life at that time, as opposed to being afraid of what's going on in your life. Allow yourself to be open, see yourself, sit with it all, and address whatever is going on in your life so you can digest what life has to offer you. And once you get to that place of digesting, then you get to that place of actually succeeding in whatever it is you're looking to do, because you're open. You're not running away from it, you're addressing it. And you're going to address it with every emotion there is to address it with. I do not want you to shove any emotions under the carpet. I do not want you to pretend that an emotion doesn't exist. I want you to feel every emotion, whatever that emotion is, whether it's fear, anger, frustration, grief, sadness, disappointment, abandonment, lonely, whatever those emotions are. I want you to feel them all, including the happiness and the joy and the peace and the calmness. Feel every emotion, because every emotion has a purpose. So I do not want you to dig and shove any emotions under the carpet and pretend things are okay. When you pretend things are okay, it only becomes more chaotic. So be authentic, be truthful, be transparent, and allow yourself to really digest every emotion you may very well be feeling. Now, the number that's associated with our card here is number 8. 8 represents abundance. 8 is also about infinity, and when we flip that 8 over, you see the number 8 where there's 2 circles, and for most times the way we draw it, the way we write it, usually those circles are even, meaning there's balance there. And when we think about success and trusting our process, I want you to really reflect on, where is the balance in your life? And is there balance in your life? Are you spending more time focusing on one area of your life and not enough time on something else? Maybe it's time to put your focus on what's actually working for you right now and take your focus away on what's not working for you. Because when we actually do that, we allow ourselves to let go of the resistance of what's not working, and we put all our energy to what is working. And believe it or not, it's like magic. It's like all of a sudden, because you're focusing in on what's working for you, your energy starts to shift. You start to let go of resistance, and you really step into that happy place of purpose, because you're focusing on what's working for you. And what's not working for you magically starts to shift. And then all of a sudden you start to notice something shifting in that section that you were so resistant on. So just sending that energy, balancing it out. So if you spent 150% of your time on what's not working, take that 150% and put it towards what's working. And see how that works for you. See how that shifts your perspective, shifts your energy, and also helps to raise your vibration. And as you raise your vibration, that actually gives you the opportunity to literally step back and look at things in a different way. It's almost like someone giving you a pair of glasses and you're seeing it from a different lens. So you're seeing a bigger picture and get a better understanding, because now you're no longer focusing in on that situation with such resistance, because now you're in a much purposeful, peaceful, calming place based on bringing balance into your life. And then, as I always say, things always work out. Everything will eventually fall right to where they need to be. I have this expression. Now, I don't know if it's my expression or if I stole it from somebody, but if that's the case, I can't credit it because I don't know if I did. But the expression I have is, anytime something feels like it's falling apart, it's actually falling back together. Anytime something is falling apart, it's actually falling together. Because in order for us to get to a place of happiness and joy, sometimes something has to break in order to be mended back. And when it mends back to being something so much more than what you can ever imagine it to be. So always think about that. So when you're in this place right now in your mind where things are just falling apart, you feel like all the sand and wood and everything else is just being pulled out of the ground, and you have this big ditch, just know that eventually all of that is going to fall in together, and you're going to be in a much better place than you are now. And it's all going to be worth it, because you would have learned so much from this experience. So bringing balance into your life based on that 8 energy, and that balance is success right there. Because as you bring that balance into your life, you're trusting your process, which is the solar plex. And you're really bringing in success into your life, your own personal life. It's not about your career. It's not about your relationships. It's not about your health. It's about you bringing success into your own life, which is a domino effect of everything else. So that's our reading for today. I do hope that this resonated with you. In the event you would like to have a reading of your own, feel free to reach out to me at healingwithin76@gmail.com. You can send your questions there, and I will get back to you. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to have my guest to introduce you. I'll be right back.
I'm Nick Rafter, founder and owner of Nick Rafter Real Estate. If you've ever bought, sold, or rented a home in the New York area, you know how difficult a process that can be. But that's where I come in. With years of experience and knowledge of the New York rental and sales market, I can help you navigate the difficult process of renting, selling, or buying a home. Let me help you find the place to be. Here in New York, the best place to be.
Hello, and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. If you're just joining us, I've given an insight on our energy for the day, trusting your intuition, stepping into your success, and recognizing if the number 8 shows up, because that 8 is just reminding you that you are exactly where you need to be. You're in balance and in perfect infinity for everything of abundance that you deserve to have. With that being said, I'd like to introduce our guest for today. My guest for the day, hello India, Dr. India.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Now it's Dr. India Maxwell Barkley.
Yes.
So first of all, I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
On your
Thank you so
success
much.
of becoming a doctor.
Thank you.
Now, how's that feel for you?
It's a little surreal, but nothing has changed much with regard to how I practice.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I feel the pressure to do more and to reach more.
Well, what is it after a PhD? Is there anything after a PhD?
In my profession, no. This is the highest you could go currently.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So.
Now, in anyone's profession, is there anything beyond a PhD?
I think a PhD is usually the highest in terms
So
of your...
you've
yeah.
basically reached the highest point of
yeah,
education.
yeah.
Nothing more for you to do unless you make up something.
That's right.
Which is an awesome, awesome achievement.
Yes.
And talk about the card that we just received, an awesome success.
I know.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was listening.
Perfect, yes. So here you are, a doctor of acupuncture.
Yes.
Okay. And you're also a Reiki master
Yes, I
and
am.
teacher.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So let the viewers understand what acupuncture is and then Reiki.
Okay.
So talk about the two.
So acupuncture is a very ancient modality of medicine. It's actually just a branch of it's like a small part of Chinese medicine. And Chinese medicine has been on the planet for quite some time. It's a very ancient modality, ancient type of medicine. Acupuncture itself uses very fine needles. We insert them in the body and we awaken. I often like to call them little chakras, but they're tiny kind of pathways within the system. And what that does is it kind of activates the chi in the blood in the system. And we usually employ this to generate harmony and balance. So if there's dysfunction or if there's pain, there's usually an obstruction in that highway and pathway. And so the acupuncture needles themselves actually help to invigorate and move.
So when you're
those
saying
pathways.
when one has physical pain?
Physical pain,
Okay.
mental pain, it could
Emotional
be
pain?
emotional pain.
Yeah, and even spiritual pain.
Correct. Yeah.
That the acupuncture or the needles
Yes.
are actually activating an energy flow, so
An
to
energy
speak?
flow, yeah.
Okay.
So just think of it like highways or byways. This kind of network exists in our body, and it's energetic before it kind of reaches the physical. And so what that does is it allows the whole unit to function. And so again, if there's obstructions, I like to call it traffic jam, the body will respond with pain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, I always like to bring this in because my dad always asks this question. If one doesn't believe in acupuncture, does it work for them?
Totally. Actually, there is acupuncture being done on animals.
Oh,
So that kind of dismisses that notion, but you don't have to believe in acupuncture for it to work. Again, it doesn't have to, there really isn't any dogma attached to it. There isn't a belief system. We are inserting needles into the physical body, so there really is a physical response. And a lot of the times the patients are responding in the moment to the sensations of the acupuncture treatment. So in that regard, they can themselves attest to its ability and its effect.
Yeah, I've known, like for myself, when I've had acupuncture done, and the acupuncturist would place the needles in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would be really funny because if out of impulse you want to move your hands.
Yes.
And if you go to move your hands out of impulse, it's like it hurts.
It does.
It's like,
does.
oh, can't move my hands. This
Correct.
hurts right now.
Correct.
Why is this?
Correct, because you're really not meant to move with the acupuncture needles. And, you know, it's interesting, too, because you really want to set, you want to send a message to the body to relax.
To relax, yes, yes.
Right.
Yes,
So.
yes. And of course, like my first experience with it, it was like my hand just, you know how like, it's one of those things when someone tells you don't scratch and then all of a sudden you get so itchy
have an
that you
itch,
need to,
of
it's like,
course.
oh my God, why'd you tell me not to scratch?
Conveniently.
Now it's there.
Right.
So it's the same concept.
Yes.
So now when we think about the acupuncture, in regards to our world, like one of the things that you had mentioned about the topics that you had wanted to speak about is getting this medicine
Yeah.
out there
Yes.
to evolve.
Yes.
Where, you know, the limitations that people have, the
Yes.
limited beliefs that people have.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
So, you know, I think one of the things of making acupuncture mainstream is really understanding how beneficial it is. So one of the things that acupuncture is able to do is detect imbalances, detect energetic dysfunctions before they manifest into physical pain, into actual physical changes in the body. So it's really powerful preventatively. So prior to a tumor formation, there's an energetic tumor that's forming. And so acupuncturists are trained to really look for certain bodily cues, energetic cues in the intake. And what that does is it allows us to say, okay, you're going down a pathway of creating a tumor.
A tumor.
You're going down a pathway of creating heart disease. And so it's really powerful in that regard, in that we can interact at that energetic level.
Yeah, and that's interesting though, because I would think the average person, I mean, me included for that matter, the average person doesn't usually go to an acupuncturist or even a doctor for that matter until something doesn't feel right.
That's how we're trained.
So now, how does one know? You know. Okay. Well, if you're as you're saying, or what I'm hearing is to start doing acupuncture before
Correct.
this comes on.
Correct.
How does one know how to even do that?
So, I mean, it wouldn't be any different from your annual checkups,
Okay.
right? You're going to a doctor annually to have a checkup, nothing's wrong. So, you know, going to an acupuncturist could be part of a routine checkup.
Oh, okay.
Okay, which would then foster maybe a regular treatment modality. And the nice thing with acupuncture and Chinese medicine is that you don't have to have something wrong in order to have treatment. And so it could just be a maintenance regimen as well.
It's like almost, like for myself anyway, when I go to see my doctor, my primary care, it's not that I'm going because something's wrong.
Right.
It's like my yearly checkup.
Annual check-in.
Yeah. Just say, okay, I'm just going to check in to make sure everything's okay.
Correct.
You know, even though in my mind, I'm like, well, obviously everything is okay because I feel good.
And I don't have any symptoms.
I feel good. So, you
Yes.
know, I'm going for that checkup.
Yes.
And I feel good.
Yes.
So it would be the same thing.
It would be the same thing. However, I think we are not trained to be aware of certain signs and symptoms as a culture that an acupuncturist would say that's actually a sign of disharmony. For instance, a cough. A cough is actually considered a symptom that warrants attention. Whereas everyday coughing, it's like I cough at night, that's nothing, or I cough during the day. I'm not paying attention to that as though there's something wrong energetically or physically. Whereas we would say, no, that's actually something to pay attention to. It needs treatment.
I usually like to say, because I often cough a lot, and my joke, but it's not really a joke, metaphysically, you know, the explanation to coughing is that you want to bark at someone. You know, so
There's a need.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, when I find myself in that space where I am coughing more than usual, it's like, okay, obviously I know for myself as a healer, there's something I need to say that I'm not saying.
It needs to come out.
And because I'm not saying it, I'm pushing it down. And because I'm pushing it down, what's the effect of it is a cough because it's looking to come out.
It's a release.
So because I'm not saying what I want to speak, it comes out in the cough.
Totally.
And I know that.
Totally.
You know, so for myself, what I usually do, I can probably come to you for a session or two, treatment or two. But for myself, what I usually do is because I'm aware of this, I'll get pen to paper and write down what it is I want to say that I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you're just not able to say what it is you want to say to
Yeah.
the person because they're not going to hear it anyway.
yeah.
And if they're not going to hear it, it's like you're just saying things.
Right,
And it's
right.
not being heard
It's
anyway.
not being received.
You know, so that's just my perspective on it. But
Yeah.
yes, I mean, something like that, I would probably say, India, need a few needles
Yeah,
in the throat here.
Yeah, I need something to help
Something
this cough.
to help this go on.
Yeah.
You know, because again, having the awareness.
Totally, and
know.
I mean, you're privileged to know on a deeper level, and energetic level,
Yes.
and mental and emotional level what that cough
Yes.
represents, whereas the average person will
Exactly.
say, it'll go away.
Exactly.
And so what that will do is they'll keep that cough going, they won't pay attention to it, when on a deeper level, from a Chinese medical standpoint, perhaps there's grief that's not being dealt with. So the coughing is a reflection of the lungs. The lungs mentally, emotionally represent grief. So-
And I just want to point out for the viewers, when we think about the word grief, you know, the emotion of grief,
Yes.
doesn't necessarily mean just in reference to someone who passes on.
Absolutely not,
Grief
right.
could be in reference to, let's say, a loss of a relationship.
Yes.
Or, you know, just not being connected with a person.
Yeah.
You know, the person can be there, but you're not connecting.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
there's different levels of what grief
Of grief
actually
is,
means.
yes, yes.
So I wanted to bring that to the awareness.
there's depth to it, yeah.
So it's not just about, well, you know, if you say to somebody, well, do you have grief in your life? And,
Right.
well, no, I haven't had anybody who passed
Right,
away.
I
and-
haven't lost a loved
yeah,
one,
so no,
right.
it has nothing to do with just losing a loved one.
Yes.
It could be very much as you're in a relationship that there's a lot of stuff going on, or you maybe even lost sense of yourself. You know, when you lose sense of yourself, that alone is big
Yes,
grief, I would
yes,
think.
yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that
Yeah.
to the table and
Yeah.
recognizing. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Awesome.
But before we do, just let the viewers know how they can reach you.
Sure. I am reachable at indialac.com. My practice is in Bryant Park, New York. I am also available, there goes my information coming
Yeah.
up. I'm also available via Facebook, indialac.com, and always reachable and available for new patients.
Yes. Okay. With that being said, we're going to be right back.
Experience Feng Shui interior design for your home or office. Good Chi Feng Shui LLC can transform your home or workspace, no matter how large or small, into a harmonious, rejuvenated environment. Good Chi Feng Shui LLC. Call or email to schedule an appointment for a consultation today.
Those dark nights of the soul, they suck. But anyway, we come out of them, and I'm going to share with you what mine look like and the tools I use to stay grounded, centered, and really present no matter what's going on around me. Don't forget to tune in, Strong Island TV with Joanne Angel Barry Cologne's show.
Hi there, my name is Sherry Simpson. I am a transformational life coach. I healed an autoimmune disease of the thyroid called Graves' disease, and I like to help people heal themselves now. I did this completely naturally using many methods, and I believe connecting into my spirituality really had a huge impact for me. So I like to help people get to the root cause of issues, and I do that by allowing you to tap into your higher self and by asking your subconscious and your higher self questions about what it is that you need to do to heal. So I look forward to connecting with you soon. Namaste.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. If you just tuned in, remember to share, like, and comment. And we've just had a decent conversation about acupuncture, and we haven't spoken about Reiki just yet, but we were just talking about the throat chakra and coughing. So go back and watch that later on. So India,
Yes.
in regards to the acupuncture and Reiki, now when you do your practice with the acupuncture and Reiki,
Yes.
I see it in my head, my mind, and I'm like, oh wow, so the needles are in. Okay, you got them all set up. How does the Reiki fall into this?
So the Reiki is another modality that I offer, and what I often, Reiki is such a profound modality, which you know, that I often like to inform my patients and get their agreeance to actually perform Reiki, because if they are on one accord with me, now we can go to a deeper level with what's going on. So it's a separate modality. If I find that whatever's happening on a physical level is not resolving, or we're not reducing pain, perhaps now we need to go deeper. And so I would offer perhaps a separate, isolated Reiki session. And so what that does is it really allows for us to explore the mental emotional component of whatever it is that I'm working with.
All right, so I can understand, and the viewers can understand.
Yes.
When we think about the two modalities,
Yeah.
acupuncture and Reiki.
Yes.
So from what I'm understanding, so we'll say Reiki, acupuncture focuses on one layer.
To some degree.
To some degree.
I'm speaking more to most people receive acupuncture as a physical experience, because needles are going in flesh.
Yes.
But
And I say that with such intensity, like, yes, because I've experienced it.
so it's very physical.
Yes.
But we are actually moving energy.
Yes.
We're moving chi. So while there are physical sensations that can be experienced in the form of like, ooh, I felt that tickle when you put that needle in, or I felt like a rushing that went up, it's also energetic. So acupuncture is actually multidimensional. It really is not just the physical, which makes it even more impactful. However, sometimes trauma or issues or dysfunction are locked at an emotional level.
And when you use the word lock,
yes,
like blockage?
Blockage.
Okay.
Crystallized thought patterns. You know, things that just aren't moving.
And that they're like, yes, too, and they don't want to touch that.
Correct. That are beyond the physical. I offer Reiki. I offer
to
Reiki.
go on to a deeper level.
To go deeper. Yeah.
Yes. Makes sense. Makes sense. So, and obviously that person has to be open.
Yes. Yes.
Now, should that person not be open to doing that, what do you do with them?
I mean, you have to respect everyone's process.
Yes, of course.
So if someone is like, I'm good with Acu, but Reiki is a little too much for me, I totally respect that. That's their boundary.
Okay.
I don't come into that resistance usually. So most patients that I encounter are open to trying Reiki in addition to Acu, and are really amazed by the results of, I didn't even know I was carrying all of this, because the interaction, the dialogue is different than when I'm in my acupuncture mode. Okay.
So now when you're in your acupuncture mode and the Reiki mode, as you said, the dialogue is different.
Yes.
Like from my own experience with acupuncture, it's obviously quiet. You know, my acupuncturist would place all the needles where she's got to place them, and she'll sort of tap me on the leg and say, "I'll see you in a half hour or an hour."
Yes.
And then
Cooking time.
Yeah, she leaves me alone. She puts on beautiful music. She
Yeah.
shuts off the lights,
Yes.
and there I am.
Right.
In this room, in quiet
Yes.
with music
Yes.
and to my own thoughts, or possibly even fall asleep if you can.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know, but there I am in my
Yeah.
own thoughts and alone.
Yes.
She steps out.
Yes.
You know, now my experience with Reiki when I work with my patients is I do what we call like a talk therapy with them. I guide them because I
Yes.
also do chakra balance with them.
Yes.
So I'm guiding them.
Yes.
So now with your Reiki, is it similar?
Totally. And even with my acupuncture, I do guide as well.
Oh, so you don't leave the room?
Well, I do leave the room, but I'm very communicative about what we're doing. So if today's treatment is focused on clearing heat, I talk about that prior to treatment, so that the patient is aware that these needles are triggering an opportunity to clear heat. So there is a lot of energy shifting that happens even with the Acu. Whereas when I'm performing Reiki, I'm there with the patient throughout the entire session.
So just stepping back just for a moment, because again, I'm just hearing, higher self comes in every now and then. For the viewers, when you say clearing heat, what exactly does that mean?
Clearing heat could be inflammation in the body. It could be sensations in the head, because heat as a natural element always rises. So we identify certain signs and symptoms in Chinese medicine as, oh, that's heat. And so we have certain points, we have certain formulations of certain prescriptions that actually clear that heat. And so heat, just by virtue of being a fire element, is very agitating. It kind of, gets your emotions riled up. It triggers anger. So we don't want that quality in the body. So that's something that acupuncture can do, is clear heat, take it out, so that on the other side of treatment, you're calmer, you're cooler, less agitated.
Now I have a feeling this is probably going to be a conversation for another time,
Yes.
which will bring you back for that matter. But now, reference to when one has that heat.
Yes.
Does dietary habits play a role in
Totally.
reference to this heat, in
Totally.
reference to what they should or should not be eating?
Absolutely. Lifestyle plays a role, and diet plays a huge role. So there are certain foods in Chinese medicine that bring more heat in the body, in particular coffee.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, I know. I'm sure every one of my viewers just went, oh, I did it for them, and I don't even drink coffee.
Coffee in particular is a heating type of liquid. Alcohol is. And fried foods that are heated at very high temperatures.
So spicy food as well?
Spicy could be, but
okay.
also like high temperature cooked foods, so fried.
Oh,
fried
okay.
foods. So when someone consumes these, and in excess, because I don't want to take it away from anyone.
Yes, yes.
In excess, what it does is it introduces heat into the system. And so that heat obviously goes to the digestive system first, but then where else does it go? Okay,
Throughout
so
throughout the body,
throughout the
wherever
system.
there's anything that's
Correct.
an imbalance.
Correct.
Sure.
So a lifestyle, we're talking every day, okay, of this type of lifestyle will definitely bring more heat into one's body. And heat is equivalent to inflammation in Western language. So more inflammation in the gut, more inflammation in the muscles, tendons, and tissues. And so we know what inflammation leads to: pain.
Yes, yes. Interesting. So now, when we, as you were saying with the Reiki, when you working with your patients on the Reiki, that you're doing the talk therapy with them
Yes.
in Reiki and
Yes.
guiding them and all of that. So talk a little bit about that.
So Reiki is, I love it so dearly because it really has informed me being an acupuncturist in terms of medically being intuitive to what's actually happening. So in the Reiki session, I'll often discuss the chakras. That's usually my initial introduction to it and what they represent. And then I actually go through all the chakras to see where they are in balance, if there are any imbalances. And so that's really how I go into where we are in terms of what's being required in terms of a healing. So we examine the chakras, see where there's imbalances, and then we start the healing. We go into the actual Reiki session. And so coming out of Reiki, I often ask my patients, how do they feel? Was there any feedback physically, emotionally, mentally? And I often offer my feedback as well on the other side of that experience.
Nice. Now, in reference to when you're doing the two with them, now, and I'm going to guess it's probably different for each. In reference to length of time, like
Yeah.
what is the length of time a person would see you for in
Yes.
reference to a session?
Yes.
And how many treatments would one need to have from minimum to maximum? And again, I'm sure it's very personalized.
Yeah, very customized. It really depends on how chronic the condition is, how fed up a person is with, I really am ready to shift. So I see patients once a week, twice a week, to twice a month, to once a month. In terms of the timeline, a Reiki session would be a good 45 minutes to an hour, and the acupuncture could be 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So if I'm doing both in the same day, easy 2 hours together.
Nice,
Easy.
nice.
Yeah.
And now, when they're getting both in the same day, are they seeing you, as you mentioned, that once a week, twice a week?
If a patient is having both modalities in the same day, I'm definitely seeing them very soon because that was a lot of movement. That was a lot of movement. So I would often like to separate them because, again, acupuncture in itself could be very moving, and then Reiki in itself could be another level of movement energetically. So again, customizing it to the patient's needs, seeing where they are. I don't want to overload them. So I may do both or I may not.
Now, if you can give the viewers and audience one tip that they can take home today, what would that tip be?
The body never lies.
The body never lies. Now, when we say that, does that mean the person needs to be aware? Of the fact that their body's even trying to talk to them?
Yes. Yes. So, I always say symptoms are not your enemy. They're not. Even though it's like, oh, here we go with this headache again, or here we go with these palpitations again. The body is just responding. And so, taking the time out to pause and not try to get angry or push through that symptom is key to healing. And using the body as a way to realize I'm going too far or I'm doing too much. I think, again, culturally, American culture, we've drowned out a lot of symptoms.
We want to push them out under the ground and pretend that they're not there.
Yeah, even just the need for coffee in the morning. How are you without coffee for one day? What is the honest energy that you have going into your morning without coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's organically you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I myself, I cut out coffee, let me see now, how long? 2014, and we're 2019, so what's that, 5 years?
Wow.
I have not had a cup of coffee in 5 years.
Wow.
Literally, one morning I just woke up and said, I'm just not having coffee anymore.
That's it.
And stopped buying it, stopped drinking it, and no more coffee.
Yeah.
And energetically, I'm not falling off my chair because I'm exhausted.
You're doing okay.
I think I'm doing quite fine. If anything, I feel better.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the coffee.
Yeah.
So definitely, I just from my own experience, weaning yourself off. Because I know many people sit back and say, well, if I cut off the coffee, I'll get a headache.
Yes.
Just wean yourself slowly off.
Yes.
So yes. So again, just share with the audience how they can reach you.
Sure. My website is indialac.com. My practice is in Bryant Park, New York. I am reachable at, again, www.indialac.com. Best number to reach me is 917-916-2491.
Awesome. We're going to be taking a quick commercial break, and when we come back, India is going to be receiving a reading.
Yay.
So she's going to be sharing a question she wants clarity on, and we're going to go from there. So we'll be right back.
I'm Nick Rafter, founder and owner of Nick Rafter Real Estate. If you've ever bought, sold, or rented a home in the New York area, you know how difficult a process that can be. But that's where I come in. With years of experience and knowledge of the New York rental and sales market, I can help you navigate the difficult process of renting, selling, or buying a home. Let me help you find the place to be here in New York, the best place to be.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we've just had a humongous conversation about acupuncture, Reiki, and blending it together and the benefits of combining the two and how it works for you, and to just allow yourself to be in the moments with your emotions and not try to shove them under the carpet, because they are helpful to you. With that being said, as promised, I'm going to be giving India a reading. So she's going to shuffle the cards. And as she does, she's going to be very transparent. She's going to shuffle and ask a question she needs clarity on. And I always like to say this because it always happens, or most of the times happens. Sometimes one will ask a question, but they're not asking the actual question they want the clarity on. So the card that they may pull may actually be for the question they're not asking. So if that should happen, somewhere in the reading, something will pick up from the actual question she does ask, but then there'll also be a lot of insight based on a question she has not asked. So just as she's shuffling along, she's going to just spread them out shortly, and then she's going to pull one energetically and see which card best fits what she's looking for guidance on. And you got to spread those cards all the way out, all the way out.
Nice and spread. Okay.
All the way out.
Okay.
And we'll see what insight she has for today, she needs to hear. So, all right, As I mentioned earlier in my energy reading from the beginning, any card that shows up upside down, there's a high message for, and this card is upside down. Okay? And it is actually career change.
Wow.
What was your question? Because you didn't ask it out loud.
Okay. Is now the time to reach more people?
Oh, look at that. And career change. Now, when I hear career change, most people would sit back and say, well, that sounds like she's going to change her career.
No.
And it doesn't necessarily mean she's changing her career, but what it definitely sounds like is that she's going to be changing the type of clientele she's reaching. That's what I hear from this, is you're changing the type of clientele you're reaching. You're going to be, as you and I were speaking about before the show even started, you're going to actually be connecting with people on a much different level, people who are going to be very new to this. You know, who are going to really need that education from you in reference to understanding what acupuncture actually is and what Reiki is, and really getting that deep understanding that, and I, as I like to say, that this is not voodoo, this is not, you know, witches work.
Right, right.
That you're going to be that person to really educate them about how this is beneficial for their health.
Yes.
You know, for
Yes.
their overall health, mind, body, spirit, and their physical well-being.
Yes.
So that's what the career change is all about, where you're going to be stepping into that. And yes, is this a time for you to be connecting with new clients? Definitely. Definitely, which is why you're here on the show. I mean, this itself is it's a new platform.
It's a new platform.
It's taking
Yes.
you to a higher
Took the
level,
words out of
helping
my
you to
mouth.
reach a different group of people.
Yes.
You know, and of
Yeah.
course the same group that you currently have, but just going into it in a different way. After all, now you're a doctor.
Right, right.
So yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So now in reference to the chakra.
Yes.
Okay, the chakra here is the third eye. Okay, and when we think about the third eye for the viewers, what the third eye actually is, it's about that actual third eye here. You have your two eyes that are on your face that you actually see with. But that third eye, that's your magical eye. That's your power eye that allows you to see within. And it also allows you to see a much bigger vision of not just what's in front of you, but allowing yourself to spread it out and using your third eye. And I do believe you do use your third eye. I actually feel that every day you probably sit quietly and really connect to your third eye to
Yes,
see what
yes.
your visions are and what you
Yes,
manifest.
yes.
And that's what it's really all about, is that we are the creator to every experience we have. And we are magical, that we can literally create whatever desire. So if, you know, let's say you do have that desire to have this huge practice all over the world, because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing all over the world. Now, does that mean India is going to be traveling all over the world? Or does that mean India is going to go onto a baseline of really utilizing the internet and doing a lot of online stuff, connecting
Reaching
all
more,
over? Yes, you know, but you have that power to create that just by using your third eye, you know. And again, although this card is for India, I always say, whoever's watching, the message is for as well, that some of the viewers may need to open their third eye, and acupuncture can help that. Yes.
Sure can.
Yes, and I know Reiki
All
does.
blockages, all
Yes,
blockages,
Yes, yes. And I know many people may be fearful of opening up their third eye, but there's nothing to be fearful about opening your third eye, because it actually helps.
Yes.
Yes. So now the number that's going to follow you is the number 7. Now in numerology, the number 7 is all about reflecting, sitting quietly, meditating. And I know you meditate, probably every day.
Brewing.
Yeah.
I like to call it.
Yes, brewing.
Brewing.
That we have that 7 energy of like really reflecting.
Yes.
And sitting back. And for you, what I'm hearing is, although yes, you're very proud of yourself, of your success, but I get that you're not giving yourself as much credit as you should be.
That sounds spot on.
That's what I'm
Spot
getting. You're just not giving yourself.
on.
And why are you not? Why are you taking it small?
I have always identified with the archetype of being a student. And it's almost like, and I have students actually currently. I'm a professor of acupuncture, and they remind me that we actually need you.
Yeah.
So I think just moving out of that archetype and going into new space, new territory is really what's coming through.
So like, because when I'm hearing it again, it's like, yes, you've recognized you're a doctor.
Right.
but it's like, okay, have you like literally sat down with yourself
Right.
and really
Stepped into those
stepped
shoes.
into it, like really honored the fact of all that you've come from.
Yes.
Because when we think of that 7 energy, I like to say it's like reflecting upon where you were,
Right.
where you are right now,
Correct.
and where you're going.
Right.
But before you go to where you're going, like I think for you, it's really about reflecting on where you were
Right.
and all the work
All that work.
that you have done
Yeah.
to get to this place of becoming a doctor. That's big.
Huge.
And I just really and I keep hearing my mom say, scold her because she
needs this.
She needs to step. It's almost like my mom is saying she wants you to step into your light. She
Yes.
wants you to really
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
this. This is not a small
Thank you,
thing.
Mom.
This is not a small thing. This
Yeah.
is something to be. And my mom, I mean, if my mom was here right now, she'd give you a huge hug.
Yes.
Because she's always anybody who she can encourage to
Yes.
go and get, whether it's their master's
Yes.
or PhD. Oh my
Right,
God.
right.
That's
It's a huge
that's
accolade.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to own it.
Yes.
As they say, the expression, stop living small.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You have to own it. You got to
That's
step
right.
into that doctor.
Yeah.
Because that's who you are.
Yeah.
Still
Still fresh, but this is
well,
the
well, you've only graduated
recently,
this June,
right? Yeah.
Was it June?
Just this past summer. So
Yeah.
I'm recent. This is
Yes.
just new. It's buzzing still.
Yes, yeah, and yes. But that's what I'm hearing is, and hearing it loudly is that it's time to stop living small.
Yeah.
And step into that doctor role.
Yes. Yes.
And,
Thank you for that.
And being that you're stepping into that doctor role, as when we think about that career change, it's like, you do have a career change. You have a change in your professional name.
Yeah.
Whereas before you were India,
Yeah.
you were a doctor.
Right.
It's like, for example, when when two people get married, they go from being
Right,
you're-
first and last name.
yeah, you're
right, right.
India, now you're
Barclay.
and now you get married. Now
Right.
you become
Maxwell,
India
right.
Maxwell Barclay.
Correct.
So now you got to own that. It's like,
Right.
oh wow, it's like, wow, I'm married.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, you got to own it because
Right.
it's a new relationship, a new
right.
status.
Right.
So it's the same thing with your career.
Yeah.
And when we think about career change, you do have a career change.
So funny.
And when I first saw the card, I was like, career change. I'm like, huh? But now
What's
I'm
going on
getting
here?
downloading all this information that I'm receiving from Spirit. It's like, yeah, you do have a career change.
Yeah.
You have a change in title.
Yeah.
And in reference to changing title, now you currently work in Manhattan.
I do. So my practice is in Bryant Park,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been there for the past 5 years. So that's where I see patients.
Okay.
But I also see patients in the teaching environment that I practice at as well. So I can see patients in Long Island as well. But yes, that's where I'm at currently.
Yes, and hopefully you'll start to see patients at my place.
Yes.
That would be
That
nice.
would be
right,
nice.
right in your home.
I know.
Right in
that
your
would be
hometown.
awesome.
Like, what
That
is
would
it?
be
Like right
awesome.
across
literally,
the street?
literally across the
That would
street.
be awesome. Awesome. So yeah, and when we think about again that 7 energy, anytime over the next, let's say 72 hours, you happen to see the number 7, that is your higher self just reminding you to take a time to sit quietly and just really reflect on all you've accomplished, because that's a lot.
Yeah.
You've done so much
Yeah.
to get to where you are.
Yeah.
And in reference to that, and still being humble about it, it's not
Totally.
like you. Okay, you're a doctor now, and like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stop talking to you and stop talking to. You're still very down to earth.
Yeah.
So that success card that we had in the reading when we
Yes.
first started is definitely you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm praising you. It's like praise because you deserve it. Because I mean, how many years do we know each other?
Oh, at least 5. I would say 5.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
It's only 5 years?
I know. It seems
I
longer.
feel like it's longer than
It
5
seems
years. I think
longer.
you're miscalculating.
At least 5. Minimally 5.
I think it's much longer
Yeah,
than 5 years.
yeah.
But anyway, like, because just watching you,
Yeah.
grow to be the woman you are
Yeah.
and all you've accomplished.
Yeah.
It's like, I just sit back and like when I first saw on Facebook that you made the announcement that you're going to go for your PhD, I'm like, she's going for her PhD. I'm like, wow. And then of course in my head, I was like, I can go for my master's. But then I just sit back, I'm like, yeah, not right now. Maybe in the future. But yeah, so just owning it and, continue doing what you're doing because
Yes.
it's awesome.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
did
for
this
that.
answer your question?
It sure did.
Plus some?
Oh my goodness. Spot on. Spot on.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And again, for our viewers and our audience, for anyone who's interested in receiving your own personal reading, all you have to do is reach out to me. You can actually reach out to me at my phone number, 646-236-9155. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
I'm Nick Rafter, founder and owner of Nick Rafter Real Estate. If you've ever bought, sold, or rented a home in the New York area, you know how difficult a process that can be. But that's where I come in. With years of experience and knowledge of the New York rental and sales market, I can help you navigate the difficult process of renting, selling, or buying a home. Let me help you find the place to be. Here in New York, the best place to be.
Throughout the ages, the purpose of astrology has remained consistent: to bring order out of chaos and provide the timing and significance of life events. I'm Denise Jordan, a professional counseling astrologer. My approach is predictive, psychological, and spiritual, providing you with insight and practical guidance in relationships, work, family, and finances. I am passionate about helping you live a dynamic, fulfilling life through my unique style of astrological counseling.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. If you're just tuning in, we are at the end of the show. We are in the last maybe 3 or 4 minutes of the show. So what I'd like to just bring to the table and just share some tips with you in regards to today's show. You might want to grab your notebook, pen, write some notes down. Just a few tips in regards to all the information that's been shared today about success, even career changes, the number 7, using your third eye, acupuncture and Reiki, and just allowing yourself to reflect and taking almost like an inventory on your body, on who you are, questions to ask. How am I feeling today? How am I emotionally feeling? How am I mentally feeling? How am I spiritually feeling? And, do like a scale 1 to 10, 10 of course being great, 1 being, I need help. And if you fall in that spectrum of anywhere from, let's say, 5 and down, I recommend that you definitely reach out. There is healers all over the world. All you have to do is literally Google healers. And for that matter, you have 2 great healers sitting right in front of you that you can reach out to us. We're always here to guide you, to support you, to help you through your journey. Because life is just that, a journey. We are all here on earth to go through a journey, to transform and to connect with the emotions that we do feel. Even the icky ones, the ones we don't really want to tap into. But those are the emotions that's actually going to help us become a better version of who we are. As I always say to my clients, you don't know what happiness is until you felt sadness. You have to experience that sadness to have the happiness. You have to experience the anger to feel joyful. It's just that it's a balance. As I said earlier, it's a balance. You need to feel all your emotions. You never want to push anything down. You want to be able to digest your life. So with that being said, how it intertwines, I'm not sure, but with that being said, those of you who are healers and are looking to step into a different platform, to share your story, to share and shine your light, I'm always looking for guests to show up on my show. And those of you who are looking to start your healing journey, I'm looking for you too, to help you, to support you. So if you are interested in being a guest, feel free to email your bio and story to healingwithin76@gmail.com, and I will connect with you and get you on the show. And that is it for today. That is all we have to share. I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you next week. And just one last thing, one last plug. India, let them know how they can reach you.
Certainly. So I'm reachable at www.indialac.com. The best number to reach me is 917-916-2491.
Okay. And again, for those of you who are interested in any of my services, whether it be a training session, Reiki treatment, card reading, nutrition coaching, whatever have you, feel free to just reach out to me at 646-236-9155. And just a PS, as I'm hearing message, I am offering this Wednesday night at my facility at Holistic Fitness in Auburndale, Queens, a Chakra Balance Reiki Circle. You're all welcome to join. There is a small donation required, but contact me for more information. Again, same number, 646-236-9155. Till next week, have a blessed day.